1972 music review, the first album by the Eagles. Some background: my awareness of the Eagles really didn't occur until I heard their second album, Desperado, in '73. So to an extent, I have had underappreciated the quality of their first offering and have only fleetingly listened to it, certainly not in its entirety for some years. So that I did prior to this review, and clearly Frey, Henley, Bernie Leadon, and Randy Messner put together a strong set of songs, and the album launched them into the spotlight. Wonderful harmonies, of course, competent musicianship, and Frey's knack of writing a magical tune that was distinctive in the Eagles' career. The country style soft rock was more pop orientated than the more traditional country rock coming out of America, and that was more appealing to an international audience. They were particularly well received in the UK, and this style of singing was a big asset for them. So let's get a look at the content of the album, and we'll go through it track by track. Starts off with the huge single "Take It Easy," which sets us all on that foot tapping road with a smile. Frey's voice is top drawer, and Leadon, who had roots in country music, and he certainly could play a bit. It was, I say, a big hit, co-written by Jackson Browne, and it's so laid back with the banjo appearing towards the end. It's a sheer delight to listen to. To track two, my personal favourite, Witchy Woman, which is a much more rock tempo song. It smells of the native American Indian, female of course, and has a real cowboy feel about it, which was obviously particularly noticeable in their second offering, Desperado. Henley sings the track, and his voice, well, you either love it or hate it, and I love it. It's lush and sexy, and the tracks really caught my attention, and I was hooked. Lean's guitar breaks are slow and electrically smooth, beautiful stuff, and those harmonies again are evil sounding, witches, occult maybe, and as I said, having a native Indian touch to them, with a warlike drum beat. I felt terrific track. Next up is Chug All Night, and it really skips along at a fast pace. Reminds you of being on the road, travelling in a van maybe overnight to the next gig perhaps. It's standard MOR rock, a bit dated now, but it has energy, and it has those Crosby, Stills, Nash harmonies to boot. Track 4, Most of Us Are Sad, an acoustic ballad, and as the title suggests, be prepared to shed a tear. Frey really turns on the love being lost tap. It's a bit soppy for me. To track 5 then, and Nightingale, another track written by Jackson Browne, sang by Henley. It's an okay up-tempo rocky pop song, which has that cowboy stamped all over it. Zippy leading strumming and a catchy chorus. They would write better, but let's remind ourselves it's the first album. On to track 6 then, a track I do love, Train Leaves Here This Morning. It's a Leadon song, and he's on lead vocals, and his acoustic intro is extremely tasteful, and I like the vocal. The harmonies, of course, consider the warmth of feeling, and it surely is an easy listen, particularly in a hot summer's day. Nice guitar lead, very 50s style I thought, And wow, that country really eats your heart out. Lots of oohs. Thank you for CSNN for opening the door for these guys. Next up is Messner's Take the Devil, and it's a mystic track. Again, very native Indian inspired rock song to go with Witchy Woman. A song that haunts you a little. It's strident, and it's a style that brings out the best in the Eagles, I believe. It's got a life feel to it, particularly when Leadon opens his shoulders a little towards the end. Up next is Early Bird. This is pure country. Banjo and whistles introduce the track, and you can imagine campfires or maybe an early breakfast feast to the sound of the country and western vibe. Frey complements Leadon well here. Nice slide guitar mixed in with the bird songs, and a nice hook guitar riff leading to the harmonies which fade us out. Lovely stuff. Track 10 is Peaceful Easy Feeling, a minor hit in the US and popular at live gigs. Frey solid on lead vocals, and it's really meat and potatoes to these guys. A pure sweet country rock sound which becomes their trademark. There's a great chorus and it echoes back to the early 60s and reminds me of some of Elvis's songs, instrumentally though. California country classic is how one critic described it, and thanks to the writer, one Jake Templeson. I think I've got that pronunciation right, which leads us on to the final track, Tryin. Bit of a country rocker here, bit MOR. It's got a nice liquid style lead and nice intermingling of guitar and vocals. So overall, it's a very likeable first album. A couple of great songs, the rest solid, and a platform for the second record. The Eagles' sound had been established, and it was a winning combination.